Hello, Taffers. Got your hands on any sweet loot recently?
Hey guys, and welcome to the 100% of Thief on the Master Custom difficulty. It's a game all about Master Thief Garrett stealing all the forks and knives in the entire game. Now, what does a Master Custom difficulty include, you may ask? Basically, Master Custom difficulty makes it so all the enemies are more aware, and it just basically means you need to play the game like a little bitch, like hiding in corners and everything, and in the dark, which I guess is completely fine, because he is a thief after all, and he can't be seen. So, the custom difficulty includes, as you can see in the background here, no reticle, no damage, which basically means you can't take any damage, pretty self-explanatory, expensive resources, meaning things cost a hell of a lot of money. This is specifically a bottleneck for certain parts of the game, which I'll be going over later on. No food or poppies, because you're not taking any damage anyways, this is just kind of 3 points. Basically, you can't heal or refill your focus, which goes on to the next one, no focus. Focus is basically a thing that make you see things and make the game a lot easier. They highlight things in blue, but obviously you won't be seeing that because that's not in this run. No kills, so that means nothing. No, you can't shoot anyone. No, you can't kill anybody, basically. Special arrows only. This means only fire arrows, water arrows, blunt arrows, and rope arrows. That's all you can use. I believe there's another one, but I can't really remember. And no alerts, which basically means you can't be alerted by anything, like birds, dogs, or people in general, which is actually kind of difficult. And I think there's one more I just forgot to mention, which means no takedowns. So if you take down anybody, the game ends, or the mission ends. So before I start this awesome video, which I am starting to make some of these like 100% videos, because I 100% a lot of games, as you see on my channel. I want to make like short snippets of the game, what I liked and what I didn't like, and just basically showing off all the things I did, or most of the things I did in the game, to reach 100%. Most of these will include like challenges, like hardest difficulty, all achievements, stuff like that. Before I start, this challenge made me want to bash my head through a brick wall. It was so painful to complete. I believe the normal like 100% run without having all these restrictions is a lot quicker, obviously. And this was so painful, and I'll get into the reasons why in a second. But thank you guys for tuning in, and sit back and relax and enjoy the video. Hey guys, and for chapter 1, we'll be talking all about the loot and documents in the game. So loot is in terms of flasks, knives, ashtrays, boring loot that Master Thieves shouldn't have any interest in, but for some weird reason Garrett goes around stealing people's knives and forks from their collection for some completely unknown reason to me, honestly. He's meant to be a master thief, not a petty thief in my opinion. Well, I guess with the gloom going around, there's little ways to make money. I guess that $2 fork you're risking your life for is perfectly normal. And there's also collectibles in the terms of the loot tree. Those collectibles being like the mortal coils, which are kind of like the armbands or something. I'm not really sure what they are. They just look like armbands with like a snake head, I think it is. I can't really remember what they look like, but I'll show you like footage of it in the background. And it's just like, you know, paintings, and for some weird reason, Garrett also likes collecting plaques of cities, like name plaques of like the names of locations for some reason. And he calls it an awesome piece for his collection. I don't get why he does it. It's just, I don't understand why he's going around the city unscrewing things like that. Like, it's no value, I don't think. Like, are they made of gold? They do shimmer a bit. I'm not sure. And let's talk about the documents as well. Documents are newspapers, letters, notes that are laid around the mission and in the city hub. I'll be going over why the documents are honestly awful to collect in this game. It's not mainly in the chapters, it's mainly in the city hub. And we've got hidden... The loot also hides behind like barrels and stuff. I must have ran past this one small gold coin in the 30 hours I played the game so many times because it was hidden behind a barrel. And I just think it's stupid that they would hide loot like that in obscure places. I mean, I guess I get it. I get it. Like, the hiding stuff, you know, it's cool to find everything. But this specific coin, and there's loads of other coins that are very easy to miss, and it'll just make you go nuts trying to find everything. I'm mainly talking about the city for this. Like, I use an awesome skill about finding all the loot in the actual chapters. Also, barring the loot, we're going to be talking about how some loot is you can't get without backtracking, and this is one of the most annoying things in the game, in my opinion. When you're like given a mission, you should be given, you should be allowed to get all the loot straight away from that mission without having to backtrack. Now I'm going to pull up an example here. We've got the first client job. I think it's for Hector. There is a specific collectible in that in the room that requires a razor to get. Meaning, if you're like one of the people who like to do all the missions in between like chapters, and you want to do Hector's job first before doing chapter 2 or chapter 3, whatever it was, well, it sucks because it looks like you'll be backtracking later on to redo the entire mission to get that one collectible. So that means if you collected everything barring that collectible, you will have to go back and collect everything again. Like, it doesn't save the progress. It's honestly complete, I'd say, kind of bullshit, but I understand in a way because people might want to go back and get all the loot and make money or something. But you don't really ever need to do that unless you're going for all trinkets. I just think that mission shouldn't be an option. Like, you could switch up the missions in any order and it wouldn't make any difference on the outcome of the actual ending of the client job. Anyway, more about that later on. And last but not least, I know I'm doing these in short chapters because I'm giving an overview of how annoying this game is with loot and collectibles. Like, this entire chapters, and I can't stress to you enough how bad the game is in terms of loot and collectibles. Let's, for instance, talk about documents. If you didn't know, documents have a timer in the city, meaning one part, the newspaper will be there, and if you go do a chapter, say if you did chapter 2, and there was no newspaper there, and then after chapter 3, that newspaper will spawn. You won't know it's spawned because you've already been there before. Why would you want to go back in the same room you've been to before? So you have time gates, and I'll pull up the wiki and I'll show you guys what I mean. And I also give some video examples in the background. But this is all bullshit. Like, if you're gonna add a document in the game, make sure it stays there. Like, there's no reason to remove it. There's no reason. Like, if you're gonna add documents midway through the game that players don't know about, at least have the dignity to keep it there, so players like me who want to get everything can actually get it or look around and find it again. Like, oh, I'll go over this area again. Maybe I missed something. And then there it is. There's the newspaper. But if you don't do it in a specific time frame the game wants you to, well, that sucks. You're going to have to restart the entire game again. Or load a save that hopefully is before that, which I doubt you will have. So I just think, honestly, screw Eidos Montreal for that. That is probably one of the worst things in this game when it comes to collecting everything. And the last thing I want to note about the documents is that there are 9 missing documents in this game that cannot be found anywhere, and they are listed on the wiki. Maybe you do a data mine or something, but on the end stats screen, it will show you got 33 out of 33 documents in Stone Market. You got 10 out of 10 documents in this certain chapter. Meaning there is no room for like, oh, I must have missed one in a chapter because the counter says, oh, I got them all. So you will basically be looking around for 9 documents that do not exist. So it's impossible to 100% because, well, the developers thought it'd be great not to include the 9 documents that were meant to be. I mean, okay, say they had no time to do it. Literally just lower the cap of the documents. Make it from 215 to 206, the cap. You don't even need to add them. No one would care if you added them or not. Honestly, like, no one would know. If no one knew about it, no one would care. But we do know about it, and the fact you didn't update like the counter just seems like laziness to me. So yeah, there's a loot and documents in the game. That's all you'll be doing for like 30 hours is running around picking up forks and knives. And actually, I forgot to mention one thing. One thing that is actually, honestly, it hinders you as a player. It's the animation of picking up said loot and said collectibles. You'll be locked in a 1 to 2 second animation of picking up forks and knives or whatever it is. But you'll be locked. If you open a safe, right, you're locked in an animation opening the safe. Does the same one every time. You'll also be locked in picking up that awesome collectible by staring at it for 7 seconds or whatever it is. Meaning, if there's a guard around the corner, you can't close the safe, because if safes are open, you get alerted by the guards. You can't close the safe because you're holding the collectible, and that means they'll be alerted, and obviously this is master custom difficulty, so them being alerted is a bad thing, because if you get caught, then... Actually, no, they're not alerted, they're suspicions raised. Alerts are basically, you have been caught, suspicion has been raised because the safe's open, you can't close it because of this stupid animation, which he does over and over and over and over and over. And that also includes another thing which I'll go over later on, another animation which is completely pointless to the game other than to pad time. So yeah, with all that aside guys, let's start with chapter 2. Chapter 2 will be talking about the guard AI. Honestly, this is honestly a spectacle marvel of how bad this AI can be. It is, without words, I can't really explain without showing you guys, as you just saw. There's several instances in the game where guard AI will just stand there and do nothing, and it ruins the game because sometimes you need to go to the area that the guards are staring at, and the only way to move them is by distracting them. Sometimes though, when you throw bottles and stuff like that, as you see here, they will not react to it at all and just bug out. And as for this case here with the guard on the wall here, he's meant to patrol the room, but he doesn't. He just stands at the wall, making it really difficult to get the document that's on the desk. Honestly, I don't really know what else to say about the AI other than it being absolutely terrible in the worst situations. Sometimes they're just idiotic and they'll see you, point at you, as you'll see here, and literally just act as if you weren't there. Obviously this part's rather short in comparison to the other chapters. That's because there's not really much to say other than the AI is either 1, stupid, or 2, just stand there and don't do anything, making it kind of hard to get to the place you want to go. Because if you see here, on this part, the guard standing in the doorway, he's meant to be sleeping on a chair in the other room, but he's not. He's standing in the doorway. And there's only 2 ways in that room. In retrospect, I could have probably gone the other way, and it probably would have been good. But it's just that's a risk of alerting other guards going that way, you know. Though to be fair, the other way is pretty much more suitable. But it's just the fact that I didn't know actually at the time there was two ways. I was hoping there was another way out the room when I went to loot, and it turns out there was. But that's all there is to say about the guard AI. I mean, it speaks for itself, as you can see. So, that leads me on to Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Honestly, do you know earlier when I was talking about rope arrows being a bottleneck for certain points of the game? Now, I didn't say that as a joke, because it literally is. Each rope arrow costs 600 gold, but if you're like me, and an epic investor, I bought Basso's bond early, so all the rope arrows would cost 450 gold instead. The reason why this is such an issue is because the loot you get given from the rope arrows that you use to get to those secret areas, and just in general to get the loot, they are not worth it. You're getting like, let's say best case scenario, you're getting like a Baron's bust, which is around about 50 gold, and a few bits and pieces, let's say 75 gold, generously. You are losing 375 gold by using that rope arrow. Meaning, if you don't get all the loot in the game, including every single chapter, you will not be able to get any secret areas, really. This is especially egregious when it comes to Chapter 7 and Chapter 8. If you didn't know about Chapter 7 and Chapter 8, Chapter 7 and Chapter 8 are linked. Meaning, after you've beat Chapter 7, it will start Chapter 8. There's no like break in the middle where you can go back and refill on rope arrows. But as you see here, there is a specific instance on Chapter 7 where the shop does not sell rope arrows. And that's near the end of the chapter, by the way. Which is, it's fine. Okay, it's the end of the chapter. There's no rope arrows needed for the rest of that chapter because it's so near the end. But for Chapter 8, you need a rope arrow at the start of the chapter. And that rope arrow, if you don't have any, because I used all mine. I used all my rope arrows in Chapter 7 because it's a massive mission when you're getting all loot and you have to take your time avoiding guards and stuff. And there's actually quite a lot of rope arrows you use in that mission. And there's rarely a time anywhere before the end of the game where you have enough money to buy 5 rope arrows, because the rope arrows are ridiculously expensive. So, imagine, right? You're on Chapter 7, got all the loot, okay? Then Chapter 8 spawns, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get all the loot and secret areas for this mission as well. Think again, mate, because you'll be having to redo Chapter 8 again if you do not have a rope arrow, because obviously there's like 2 or 3 pieces of loot and it's a secret area as well. So yep, screw you. You're gonna have to restart the mission. You know, the hour you just put into Chapter 8, nope, just gone. Doing the boss fight, that might have took you a long time if you don't know the strategy. And you finally did it, but you're gonna have to replay Chapter 8 because you missed 2 pieces of loot in a secret area because the developers thought it would be good for the shop not to sell rope arrows. Now you're probably wondering, but there's a shop in Chapter 8, so why don't you use that shop instead? Well, as you see here, there is a point of no return, which is like most of the missions, they have points of no return. Meaning, you can go buy that rope arrow, but you will not be able to use it on that secret area because, well, I mean, you can't go back. The only way of going back is by either 1, restarting Return to the City, which, by the way, resets Chapter 7. So you need to redo Chapter 7 again and make sure you have enough rope arrows for Chapter 8, or you can finish the game, then replay it, which is what I did. I steamed through Chapter 8, didn't pick up anything, because after picking up all the collectibles you have 30k gold, and I had enough money to buy max rope arrows, and I just redid the mission. There's also other rope arrows, rope arrow locations in the game. Pretty much all or most secret areas require a rope arrow or some sort of tool. As you see here, there is a tool you need. You need a wire cutter and you need a wrench tool to get to the secret area. Rope arrow, I can't remember how much wrenches and the wire cutters are. I think like 700, 800. So you need to buy these as soon as possible. And you know what's funny? Is that each time you go to a secret area, there's meant to be a chime noise. This secret area for me didn't play any chime noise whatsoever. And that is the de facto knowing that this area is a secret area because the noise went off. A lot of people have restarted their games and restarted chapters. I've read on wikis and Steam chats and everything about people having to reset the game, worried about the chime noise not going off. Well, I'm gonna quickly dismiss something. You do not need to hear the chime noise for the secret areas. It's just completely cosmetic. If you've been there, it's fine. And sometimes you'll find areas that should be secret areas that are not. Like as you see here, there's a button on the wall, you press it, you shoot your arrow up, and it takes you to a room. This room is not a secret area. So there's no defining a secret area in this game. And the final kick in the teeth is there is no counter in the game for how many secret areas are like you've done. There is a whopping 73 secret areas in the game. And if you've missed one, and you don't know which one you've missed, you will be playing chapters over again, the city hub all over again, doing each single secret area to make sure you haven't missed one. And if people don't know about the chime noise, and the chime noise didn't go off, and they think, oh, that's not a secret area because chime noise didn't go off, so you're fine. They'll obviously dismiss that as a secret area, and it'll just make the achievement kind of difficult to get, because obviously if you don't use like the internet to look up guides or anything, you will not know what to do in this situation, which really sucks. There should be a counter, but there isn't. There's a reason why the secret areas is the lowest rated achievement unlocked in the entire Xbox achievement list for this game. It's basically because the secret areas are just bullshit. That's it for chapter 3. Not much to say other than rope arrows are expensive and you will not be spending any money on anything else other than rope arrows and the tools you need. I'd get them as early as you possibly can, but obviously the tools don't spawn, the wire cutter and the wrench do not spawn until after chapter 2. I mean, the wrench spawns obviously straight away, I mean the razor. And obviously most secret areas require rope arrows, and if you don't have enough money because it's so expensive, screw you. Oh, and actually one more thing I want to mention about rope arrows is large portions of the game are restricted to the player because of a rope arrow. Meaning, if you don't have a rope arrow, you'll be going the most linear way. Even though each mission is pretty much linear. I watched like a YouTuber, he like went through it, and he draw like a line to the start to the end of each mission, and all of it was linear. I was like, you know what, that's true. Because you can literally just go in a straight line. There's no real reason to go off the beaten path unless you're looking for loot. So yeah, that's all it is about rope arrows and secret areas. This is a very good point I want to make for everyone. At least after chapter 1, each single chapter has at least one secret area, as you see on this list here. I think at least one rope arrow is required on each single mission. I'm not sure. I might go through my recording. If not, then I could be wrong. But that means if you do not have rope arrows before you start the mission, you'll have to redo the mission and get all the loot again to get 100% because you didn't have a rope arrow. I just think it's ship mechanic. You should have rope arrows full stop all the time. Like in Thief, like the original Thieves, you had a rope arrow, and like all the time, I believe. You should just be able to have it, you know. Like it's just a stupid mechanic. With that done, we'll be on to chapter 4, which is probably the most. I'll just let it speak for itself. You'll see. So, chapter 4, we're going to be talking about probably the most important thing, I'd say, even over everything else that I've just mentioned, is about the map and how you interact with the map / navigation. Now, if you didn't know about Thief, I'm going to do a little quiz for you guys. So, I'm going to pull up a picture of the map, right? And just look at it for a second. And I'm going to give you a few names, okay, of locations. So we got Black Furo, Clock Tower Plaza, Chinsworth Lane, Morningside, Moore's Ditch, the Gullet, Muddler's Row, Barron's Way South, Market Street, Greystone, and then we got South Quarter, and we got Fishhawkers Market, Riverside Rooftops, Skin Market, Eels End, and Docks. Now, looking at the map, do you think you could confidently tell me where each location is? You're probably going to say no, because it looks exactly the same everywhere. Just like a bunch of stairs, like things, and just like it just honestly looks like a massive shape. Honestly, like it's kind of hard to tell where you're going, because obviously there's no labels. Like on Fallout, for instance, if you hover over an area, like I'd say like Grey Garden, Diamond City, the Sanctuary, or you know, Vault 101, whether it be any Fallout game, if you hover over it, you'll know the name of the location. You might forget it. I don't expect anyone to remember where every single location is in the game, but you can always hover over it and be like, oh yeah, that's where that is. In this game, you can hover over the map and it will not tell you where that is. It won't tell you the location of it. You just literally, you will not know where it is. So if you're like using the wiki to cross-reference secret areas or something, or documents or collectibles, there's no way to know where that is unless you play the game a whole lot and it'll just become, I don't know, second nature to know where it is. But you'd have to play the game a lot to know every single like where you know each location is just off the top of your head. It took me about 30 hours to know, because that's only because I was running around everywhere. But I'm just saying, like, there is no, it's just not coherent. I've got lost quite a lot actually in this game, and that's because of the stupid map. There's no way to make a waypoint, so you can't do a custom destination. Like if you say, I don't know, wanted to go to a skin market, for instance, or whatever, you can't hover over the map and go, oh, there's skin market, I'll put a waypoint, because I need to do something there. But you can't, for some reason. Literally the most bare bone thing is put a waypoint. Now, they didn't have an issue giving you a flipping, like a marker for your objective. Even that is like, I don't know, like it's not even that helpful, to be honest, because some of it's very misleading. Like it'll tell you to go somewhere and you'll go there, but it actually means for you to go through a loading zone to get to the other sub area. So I'm not sure if I can get footage of this, because I'll have to skim through my recording, but if I can't, you have to take my word for it. So it'll tell you, say for instance, you need to go to Barron's Way South, right? And it will like give you a waypoint to the actual loading zone to Barron's Way South, not where the actual thing is. I mean, that's not much of an issue. It's telling you where to go to like traverse like sub areas. But like in your mind, you might get prepared and ready, thinking that this is the exact location of the quest when it isn't. I mean, it's a small nitpick. I mean, is it really an issue? Kind of not, but that's whatever. Another thing about the map is the navigation of the map. So every single time you want to go through a, like, I don't know, like if you're traversing the world, right? You either need to go through a loading zone for a gate. You'll either need to open a window, or you'll either need to push a beam. The problem with this is you're locked in this animation and you can't stop it. Meaning, if you made a mistake, you'll have to go through it and wait for the loading zone, because each one of these has a loading zone behind it too, or loading screen. Sorry, not zone. So you'll be waiting roughly 10 to 30 seconds for the area to load, and for it to, for it to like finish the animation. Because when you go through a window, he will I think he vaults or something, and I think he closes the window behind him, but I can't remember. I'm misremembering maybe. If I can find footage of that, I'll put it up right here. But also, one of the biggest problems with this game is the loading time. You can say you can go to a small zone like the Crippled Burrick, right? Where it's just Basso's HQ, a tavern, and that guy in the alley. Now, you have to wait 10 to 30 seconds for that area to load, and then if you go back out that area, and then come back, it'll still be the same wait time. You're still waiting 10 to 30 seconds. That tells me that there's zero caching in the game. It's choosing not to remember that area. I guess it's because it's not needed to be loaded, but there is, if it's just constant loading screens everywhere, like through doorways, like the little gate things, through windows, through beams, whatever it may be, you're waiting 10 to 30 seconds every single time. And this happens a lot. So if we're adding up, say, the horrible window opening, wrench pull openings, which I said earlier on, this is just padded time. Like, you're sitting there screwing a wrench over and over and over, and then you're doing it again, and then you're doing it again. So if you're adding up all these interactions, I'd say about 2 or 3 hours at 100% run. In culmination is just basically loading screens and interactions with the map. Also, if you didn't know, if you unscrew the grate and you come back to it later on, it'll be screwed again. So you're gonna have to do it again if you want to go through that area anyway. I just think this map is just terrible, honestly. Also, if you have a look at the map, there's no how do I put this in? There's no X and Y axis. Like, there's no horizontal or vertical movement of the map. Like, if you don't know, in some games you can check first floor, second floor, third floor, right? Just by clicking a button, you can see how far the map goes, and But if you're looking at the screen now, there's the icon for the player. There is no way to know if you are either on or on the first floor, say on a ledge, or on the ground floor. So when you're trying to get to areas, you don't know whether or not you can actually get to certain areas. I don't know how to explain this, but say if there's a rope arrow that'll say, let's say, take you to the first floor, there is nothing on the map to indicate that there's a rope arrow needed to get there, or even if it's even a thing, there's no way of knowing, because there's no depth to the map. It's just a flat image. It's honestly, it's so bad. And if you're trying to look at the map, there's no way to know where the loading zones are either. They're not color coded to know where each section of the map is. There's no color code for, oh, this way is Barons Way North, or there's a loading zone to Stone Market here. If they color coded it, it might have been a bit better, so you can make a visual difference or depiction of where you're going. But no, nothing like that. So yeah, that is the map. Hey guys, and for this marks the final chapter now. Chapter 5, we'll be talking about client jobs and Basso jobs. Now, you'll be asking probably, why are you not mentioning the main missions? The reason why is because all the examples I have just previously given apply, besides the map one, because the map one was just basically the entire city map. But even then, the map can be a bit stupid on actual missions. I'll throw a couple of pictures up here, and you can just basically see what I mean. Like, it's all generic. There's no labels or anything. But yeah, we're not going to be mentioning the main jobs or mission. Sorry. Actually, I can mention one thing about our main mission, and that is the boss fight with the Thief Taker General. Now, I made an entire video on this, just in general, talking about how to beat him. But the Thief Taker General fight, I don't have footage of it not being successful because I do not have. When I made my main video or series, I cut out all the bad stuff and just made it all good stuff. But I can show you with this example here. When you grab his pouch, he quickly turns around, and the Thief Taker General fight is annoying in the terms of if you do not know his routine or know how to manipulate his AI, every time you'll try go near his pouch, he'll just turn around quickly. You just basically have to wait for him to shoot and then pick his pouch. But this fight took me over an hour to do, because it was just so hard, like, to get his pouch. But after learning the fight and stuff, it wasn't so difficult. Honestly, like, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad in retrospect. But the first like 10-20 attempts did go very badly for me. And obviously, I'm sorry I do not have footage for the bad stuff that happened here. But trust me, it does happen. But also about the main jobs, there's nothing really much to mention. Like I said, it's just everything I've applied here, like secret areas, rope arrows, things costing a lot of money, like being gatekeeped out of certain areas because you need a rope arrow or a wrench, or you might miss like a collectible because you need a razor or something like that. That all applies to the main missions, and it'll take me a long time to go through each one of them as a separate sort of like in-depth look, and that is not really what I'm trying to do here. I was trying to explain why the entirety of this challenge run, this 100% challenge run, was just an utter pain and so horrible to go through. And I just hope, people enjoyed my suffering. But regardless, let's carry on with chapter 5. So we're going to be talking about client jobs and Basso jobs. So I'm not going to be going in depth on each mission, but one of the bad things about this is with the Basso jobs, you will be required to backtrack to certain locations you've already been to get a certain collectible that you probably could have got already if the game wasn't so stupid in only unlocking the objective after a certain point. Like for instance, the guard watchtower here. As you see in my first part here, you watching, picking up loot and everything. But without the Basso job, you cannot get the secret document underneath the floorboards, because basically you just don't have the job, so you can't get it. I think that's stupid. I mean, I do get it. Actually, I get it. I do get it. But backtracking in this sort of world with where all the guards are like just in awkward places, and just the game in general is just terrible. Like, backtracking's one thing you don't really want to do in any game, to be honest. Like, once you've been to a location, you've done everything there, unless it's like a major point, like say Diamond City or Megaton, where you can just go back and that's your housing, then I can see why you'd want to go back. But in most games, once you've been to a place and you've done everything there, you don't really want to go back. I mean, I guess if you want to for nostalgic purposes, or you want to look over the map again, but this game really isn't going to make you feel nostalgic. This game ruined my nostalgia. I loved this game 10 years ago. I played it on release. Recently did a 100% series on it. And it was not very good. I hated it. Every second of it, pretty much. There is some good things, like the atmosphere, that's about it. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, thieving challenges. In the actual client missions, you'll be given thieving objectives, and that's also the same with the main missions too. These are impossible to get all of them, because one mission will be like, do the mission undetected, and then the other one would be, do the mission killing 10 people. In this specific run, I think you can replay missions in normal run and get each objective done, and essentially get all the missions done. I think. I'm not entirely sure about that because I couldn't test it because I'm doing this run. The reason why I'm saying I couldn't test it is because I can't physically kill anybody in this run because it's against the actual game's rules, like the custom mode difficulty. Like if I kill anybody, I just end the run, or end the mission. Sorry. And yeah, that's it really. I mean, it's impossible for me to get all the thieving challenges. They should have made it so you could do another mission, like another thieving challenge. Like instead of killing people, you could do like I don't know. I can't think of one, but something other than something I can't do, like killing people or doing the environmental things. I couldn't do those because if there's a bird in a crate that you shoot, the bird will go squawk, 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 and it'll end the mission because that's classed as an alert and that's finished. Yeah, do something like different. Like give me another option to make more money to make the rope arrows, because you get money per thieving objectives that you do. Make it so that the challenge is different, so I can do it. That's molded to the run I'm doing, so I can actually make some money to offset the cost of rope arrows being such a restriction. But no, they didn't think of that either. I just think that's terrible. Oh yeah, I was mentioning earlier on how client jobs, no matter what order you do them in, the outcome of the actual mission, or like the entire story of the mission, is that makes no difference. You could put them in any order, the missions in any order, and the ending will be the same. Like there's no weight behind the actual client jobs you do, and when you do them, like there's nothing. There's no. Like I know this isn't about 100%, but these client jobs really piss me off because you go out your way to get all the parts for the mechanical man for Hector, right? His heart, hand, and a voice box, I believe. He doesn't even have a fully built Metal Man at the end of the story. You give him all the parts, and he'll just say, "Oh, my Metal Man is going to be done now," and there's literally no visual representation of him progressing with the building of the Metal Man. So it just makes you feel like you're just a mercenary, really, just being hired to do shit. Like I guess that's the entire idea behind Master Garrett, is he gets hired by people classed as fences like Basso, and you make money by stealing things people want. But there's no like player connection towards the client jobs, and if they weren't required for 100%, I probably wouldn't even do them, but they are. But other than that, there's not really much to say about the client jobs and Basso jobs. Like obviously Basso jobs, like you'll be backtracking to areas you've been to. Client jobs, like obviously it's just the same as any main mission. Obviously you need to have all the tools before you go into the client job, just in case there's something you can't get because it requires a tool, and if that's the case, like I showed earlier on with Hector's job with the razor tool, you have to redo the mission, and that's all I can think of really. I don't really want to make this video any longer than it needs to be. It was only meant to be a 20-minute video, but it looks like it's going to be about a 45-minute video. But yeah. I'm going to mention again, main missions are linear. There's loads of reviews. Like this isn't a review of the game. This is how 100% of this game was utter shit on the Master Custom difficulty, and how the challenge was just terrible, and I'm so glad it's done. And I honestly, I'm proud of myself for doing it, because I wanted to stop so many times, but I carried on. But yeah, this isn't a review. It's more of a just telling you why it's so bad. But yeah. This is the end of the video, and thank you for watching. This is very different to my normal videos I make. I normally make 100% videos on games like Viva Pinata, The Godfather, Godfather 2, Fallout. I'm currently doing a Fallout 4 200% run as well, where I do the game 200%, which means all locations, all unique items, all quests, all unmarked locations, all unmarked quests, all like skill magazines, all bobbleheads, all Nuka-Cola Quantums, and there's something else I'm forgetting, like overdue books and Voltec lunchboxes. Like, I do all that on survival mode, and if you're interested, feel free to check it out. I mean, it's kind of popular. I've done the same for Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and the reason why Fallout 4 is so different is because the survival difficulty obviously requires no fast traveling, food, water, and stuff like that needs to be monitored all the time. And I've also done, obviously more in line with this, if you want proof of anything I've said, or just proof in general that I 100% the game, I'll drop like a snippet of my 100% of all achievements and all the documents and loot I got in right now on the screen for you guys to see, just as proof. I will make note, you'll probably realize there are 3 pieces of loot that I'm missing. That's because I couldn't find them. I do not know where they are. I've used guides, I've used the wiki, whatever. I couldn't find them. One of the loots is bugged. Apparently it's got to do with some, like one of Basso jobs. I forgot to mention this actually. One of Basso jobs on a guy named Jeb Choke who has scissors. He's booked out where if you take the scissors, it doesn't count towards your loot list. And sometimes, you know, you can duplicate the scissors and artificially raise your loot counter and stuff like that as well. People have been doing, but yeah, that's why one of the loots, like one you just physically can't get, so it makes 100% impossible unless you do the exploit. And the other 3, I generally have no idea where they are, and I've been over the map a lot. And if you have a look here, it'll tell you how long I've spent in the actual city hub. I think it's around about 15 hours or something. Like half my playtime was in the city hub looking for stuff. And with everything I've just mentioned to you guys, that is why this challenge was a pain in the arse. It was terrible. And yeah, if you're interested in the Thief content, like I do have a playlist I'll link in the description with like all the parts of Thief I've done. And honestly, like, this videos took me a long time to make. I've been sitting on my PC for hours and hours. This hasn't been all in one take. This is new to me. Like, I've never edited a video before. This is my first actual video I've edited. I'd usually just trim it. But this is like a full-fledged edited video that I'm actually really proud of, and I'm happy about it. I hope it gets the traction I think it deserves. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and a subscribe. There's quite a lot of my content that you'll see on my channel you might like. Just have a skim through. There's a lot of games that haven't been done before, 100% stuff, like Unreal Championship 2. That wasn't done before, I did it. Godfather 1 wasn't done, Viva Pinata wasn't done. Trouble in Paradise also is another one. And Pie Animals. So that's the kind of stuff I do. I kind of do niche stuff. But honestly guys, thank you so much for watching. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment on what can be improved or what you liked about the video. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.